Hello guys, and welcome back to another true crime video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's FBI's Most Wanted. I'm also going to do a woman edition on this because I think it'll be quite interesting. I'm looking like a hot mess. That is why I've not filmed an introduction today, so I am sorry about that. And also, can I just say, I actually cannot believe when I was researching these cases that 2000 was 20 years ago. I literally can't believe that. I feel so old. Don't ask me why I thought 20 years ago was like 1980. Honestly, I don't even know. I hope you guys enjoy today's video. Number 5 is pretty graphic. It is about sexual crimes against a child and also a murder of a child, so please be warned. Alejandro Rosales Castillo, also known as Alex, is wanted for his alleged involvement in the murder of Sandy Lee in Charlotte, North Carolina. Lee was a 23-year-old female co-worker of his. Police also say that Lee was Castillo's ex-girlfriend. On August 15, 2016, Lee's red Dodge Caliber was found at an Arizona bus station. 2 days later, Lee's body was discovered in a wooded area in North Carolina. She had a bullet wound to her head. According to the police department and evidence from text messages sent between the two, Lee lent Castillo around $1,000. He planned to meet her and pay it back on August 9, 2016. Instead, officials say he had Lee withdraw a large amount of money from an ATM. Then he drove her to a remote area outside Charlotte and shot her in the head and disposed of her body in a ravine. Afterwards, he drove to Arizona in Lee's vehicle with an accomplice believed to be his new girlfriend. It took weeks before Lee's body was found and identified. On February 10, 2017, the United States District Court issued a federal arrest warrant for his unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. He was only 17 when the crime was committed. His primary accomplice, Mia Fester, crossed the border into Mexico with Castillo. She was later arrested, then released on a $100,000 bond in January 2017. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for any information. Eugene Palmer. First, I'm going to give some background information. Eugene Palmer's son, John, was married to Tammy Palmer, and the couple lived together with their 2 children at a property owned by Eugene in Stony Point, New York. Eugene lived next door to the couple. The relationship between John and Tammy slowly began to deteriorate, and the couple eventually started seeing other people. Tammy filed for a restraining order against John, which enraged Eugene. Tammy also threatened to file for a divorce and sue for the land belonging to Eugene. Authorities say this started a feud between Eugene and Tammy and caused them to have a heated argument. On the morning of Monday, September 24th, 2012, Tammy walked her 2 children to catch the school bus. It is believed Eugene Palmer was hiding in the woods, waiting to ambush her when she returned home. As Tammy walked back towards her home, Palmer allegedly started shooting at her with a shotgun from a distance. The first shot struck her in the arm, the second shot missed, and then the third shot delivered at close range hit her in the chest and proved fatal. After the shooting, Palmer fled the scene in a pickup truck, which was later found abandoned near Harriman State Park in Rockland County. Palmer then fled into the park on foot. Police called in search dogs, which followed Palmer's scent into a campground in the woods. This scent was then lost. However, despite multiple searches, no body or trace of Palmer has ever been found. Palmer depends on medications for a heart condition and diabetes. He is described as an experienced hunter, fisher, hiker, and outdoor man, who is also a car enthusiast. He has a deformed left thumb, and authorities believe Palmer might be hiding in Florida or upstate New York, where he has relatives. Arnaldo Jimenez was added onto the FBI's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list on May 8, 2019. He is wanted for the May 2012 murder of his newly wedded wife, Estrella Carrera, the day after their wedding. Arnaldo and Estrella were married on May 11, 2012 at City Hall in Chicago. Estrella had 2 children, one 9-year-old daughter from a previous relationship and a 2-year-old son, with Arnaldo. The couple had dinner with family and friends that night, and then they headed to a nightclub, which then they left around 4 a.m. on the morning of May 12th. It is believed on the way home, the couple got into a heated argument in Arnaldo's black 2006 four-door Maserati. Arnaldo allegedly fatally stabbed Estrella multiple times in his car and then dragged her body into her apartment. Estrella's body was found dumped in the bathtub at her apartment, and she was still wearing the same silver dress that she wore to her wedding. Estrella was meant to pick up her children from family members on May 12th, but she never showed up. Her family then reported her missing to the police. Her dead body was found inside of her apartment on the afternoon of May 13th. Police confirmed there was no sign of forced entry, and Arnoldo had disappeared and his car was nowhere to be found. Investigators began tracking him and found that on May 12th he had used his cell phone in Chicago, then Southern Illinois. It was later used in Memphis, Tennessee, and then Arkansas. On May 13th, he made calls from Houston and then in Mexico. In September 2012, police made a drug arrest on his brother, Humberto. During the search of his property, police discovered Arnaldo's black Maserati in the garage. Blood was found inside the car, leading police to the conclusion that he had killed Estrella in his car. Police believe his brother drove Arnaldo to Mexico in his car and left him there. Authorities believe Arnaldo is still hiding in Mexico. On the morning of April 10, 2001, an explosion ripped through the home of 40-year-old churchgoer and outdoor man Robert Fisher of Scottsdale, Arizona. The house burst into flames, and inside, firefighters found the bodies of his 38-year-old wife, Mary, 12-year-old daughter, Brittany, and 10-year-old son, Bobby. Based on physical evidence, police summarized that the previous night, Robert waited for his family to go to sleep. He slit Bobby and Brittany's throat, and then slit Mary's throat and shot her in the back of the head. He then disconnected the house's furnace from the gas connection and used a candle to rig the house to explode the next morning, detonating hours after he left. More gasoline was placed in the bedrooms to ensure the crime scene would be destroyed. He hasn't been seen since. Investigators believe that Robert is a man with many faces. Although he appeared to be a loving father and husband, the marriage was difficult from the start. Many claimed that he was controlling and authoritative, and that the couple argued frequently, and that he often yelled and screamed at Brittany and Bobby. The marriage almost ended a few years earlier, when he confessed that he had an STD and he was having an affair. Mary kicked him out, and he sought comfort at his favorite hunting grounds. However, a few days later, they reconciled and agreed to counseling at their church. Prior to the murders, Mary told a friend that she was thinking about divorcing Robert. On the night before the murders, they were heard arguing just after returning home from Brittany's induction into Junior Honor Society ceremony. Police believe that Robert's motive was because of the imminent divorce. He didn't want to put Brittany and Bobby through what he went through when his parents divorced. A couple hours after the murders, he was seen on CCTV driving his wife's SUV. A few days after the murders, authorities thought they had Robert cornered in a small cave near Payson, Arizona, after Mary's SUV and their dog Blue were spotted by a camper. However, a special sewer camera found no trace of him in there, and now they believe that the SUV was left there as a red herring to help him escape. A further search of the area turned up no trace of him. Tonto National Forest is extremely vast, and there is so many caves. So he could be in any single one, dead or alive, and it will be so hard to find him. Some believe that Robert committed suicide. He told his friends that when Mary kicked him out, he had gone to the woods and contemplating taking his own life. However, others believe that he is still alive and has a new identity. He could even have a new family. Some believe that Robert just simply snapped, as he was so fearful for a divorce. And others believe it was really premeditated, as he was a fireman and would have a lot of knowledge about fires and house fires in general.
Take pictures of. Turn that thing off. You.
This is to show our boy is 2 months old.
So what? Leave him alone.
That was first Thanksgiving. Bobby.
He's looking sharp today.
Let's see.
Show me your dress. Turn around. Turn around again. Smile. Smile pretty. Okay, now scream.
In the summer of 2000, a homeless drifter known as Carlos or Carlo had been given shelter, clothing, and work by a local resident. According to the FBI, 5-year-old Ariana De Jesus was reported missing on July 29, 2000. Sadly, her body was found partially decomposed in the basement of an apartment building. On August 3, 2000, she was found in a plastic bag, and a shirt with her blood on it lay nearby. She was sexually assaulted and had been strangled to death. When police questioned Contreras about the t-shirt, he recognized it as one of the articles of clothing he had lent to Carlos, and allegedly this is where Carlos also had been staying. Nobody had seen Carlos since the little girl was reported missing. Carlos then became wanted for questioning, and a sketch of him was profiled on America's Most Wanted. Alexis Flores, an illegal immigrant, was arrested for shoplifting in Arizona in 2002. 2 years later, police came to Flores' residence in response to a noise complaint. After giving fraudulent identity documents to the police, Flores was arrested for possession of a forgery device, which is a felony in Arizona. When he was arrested, Flores had a welcoming demeanor and was friendly. Upon entering his apartment for further investigation, officers noticed pornography spread out across the floors. Flores told immigration officials that he had lived in Illinois prior to living in Phoenix. He was incarcerated for 60 days and deported to Honduras after his release in June 2005. In 2006, Flores' DNA sample, which was taken in Arizona, was added to the combined DNA index system, and in March 2007, his DNA sample positively matched to the DNA found at the crime scene in Philadelphia. It was determined that Carlos and Flores were the same person. I mean, there is barely any information on this guy, and there is a $100,000 reward for any information leading directly to Flores' capture, and he is also a subject of the Interpol Red Notice. He is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Flores will be turning 46 this year, and he was born on July 18, 1975. Although he has used dates of birth ranging from 1975 to 1982. He is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Flores is fluent in Spanish and English and is believed to either be in Honduras or have returned to the United States. Okay, that is the end of today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you follow my social media for more, and also subscribe if you want to see more content. Bye!